Welcome to PrepsNet Coach Speak with Hayden Wildcats head football coach, Chad Eads, powered by Campus Traditions. Here's your host, Aubrey Johnson.
Welcome into the first Hayden Football Coach Speak of the 2025 season. Welcome in, Coach Eads.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
All right. So you're new here as a head coach. Yeah. We did an introduction show with you a couple of months back, but I bet everybody didn't get to see that. Give us a little bit of your background again.
All right. Well, I started out coaching after college. I was a GA for a few places, and then went to Hayden High School back in the mid-'90s. It was a long time ago now, and stayed there a while, then moved to Mississippi for a while and coached.
Good.
Then came back, went to Hoover High School as the offensive line coach and stayed there 11 years, and then spent the last 7 years at Gardendale High School as the AD and head coach, and now been here at Hayden since about first week of June.
All right, so you're here, ready to go. Let's talk about the team a little bit. What's the makeup? You've seen them for the first few practices. What's the makeup of this team?
Well, I think it's a talented team. Of course, every coach in America would like to have some more fast guys, and we're certainly in that too. But I think the makeup of us on defense is that it's a bunch of kids that'll play hard, and we talked about we don't need to get in a situation where we're tackling somebody's best athlete out in the open field, and we got to make sure all 11 are standing there to help that one. We don't need to get in that situation, and I think they understand that. We got to find our unique way of winning, and then offensively, we've got a young quarterback. He'll just be a sophomore, and he's in his really his second offense. And we got just a little short time to get things right for him. But I've been impressed with the way how fast he's learning and being serious about it and being mature and anxious to learn and to be good. So I think those guys there's a few that'll play both ways, trying to limit that a little bit. So there's a few guys that'll do that and trying to make sure they're in good enough shape and protected to do that.
Okay. Like I mentioned, it's only been a few practices so far, but kind of give us a couple of three adjectives that you would use to describe this team.
I think they're tough. If that's an adjective, you've thrown me off with this. I got to go back to school now. I think they're tough guys. I think they would say pride, but they're proud to be here. I think this is where they want to be, and I think there's a closeness among these kids that that they've grown up together and it's what football is supposed to be, what high school football is supposed to be, and that's what I want to build, is that they're playing for something bigger than just themselves, and I think that's where you get the most out of the game, and that's what I think we can do here.
Good. Who are some of the players that are starting to rise to the top, the leaders that you'll be looking to?
Well, I talked about our quarterback, Everett Hicks. He's a young guy, so I think he doesn't quite see himself as a leader yet, but he's thrown in that quarterback position, so he'll have to be. Some of the seniors that stand out to me is Asher Davidson's a defensive end and a tight end, and a very quiet young man, but works very hard. You're kind of every time you see him, you're a little amazed at how athletic and how strong he is, but a very quiet, humble kid, but leads that way.
Leads by example.
Leads to his example. John Kelly is a little more vocal. He's a middle linebacker, and I think John leaves every day and goes and landscape somebody's yard. So he's a very hard-working young man.
For him.
So those guys on defense are two that stand out. I feel like Darius Greer is a young man who I think has struggled through some injuries in the past and has had a good offseason. He'll be a defensive lineman. On offense, John Colson is kind of stands out as the tailback, a little bit of receiver, can do a lot of things offensively. And then offensive line-wise, there's a senior Colin Mathern will be at center. I think he's had a good August camp.
Well, that's a healthy number of leaders there.
Yeah.
That'll work for you, won't it, Coach? Good deal. So tell us a little bit about the position groups. How are they shaping up?
Well, there's a few that have guys that are doing, we're trying to take a few of our offensive linemen and they're sub guys on defense, so they're not playing the entire game. They're going to kind of go in and maybe they're playing at nose guard, and they just kind of keep rotating, and with the idea of getting to the fourth quarter and being fresh and not having guys, trying to limit their number of reps through the game. So offensive line, we kind of got that piece together, finding those five, because it's important for those five to work together. If you keep having to move them and replace guys, you're you're always taking a step back. And so we've spent the last maybe week or so having those 5 guys in the right place, getting a grasp on where we are defensively. It's all kind of, I feel like we're up against the time clock, and we are, because 7 o'clock on August 22nd is going to be here quick. And
it's going to be here.
But I feel like we're on schedule. I feel like we need more time, but every coach feels that way.
Right. Good deal. So you're new, therefore your staff is new and different. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, they're guys who have been here, and fortunately, there's a couple of them that I know. I've gotten to know Keith Akers really well. He's our defense coordinator. Keith actually left Gardendale right as I was coming, so we've got some common friends, and so I think a little quicker built to trust because we have common friends that know each other, and he's been here for quite a while. Shelby Spiegel will be our offense coordinator and our quarterback coach, and a very, very intelligent young coach. He's I think he's about 32. Somebody that's much younger than me, but works very hard at coaching. Michael Blankenship has been here quite a few years, and he actually coached with me at Gardendale for, I guess, maybe 4 years. So we have a connection there. Brad Stockman's our track coach here also, and helps us with very hardworking, does a lot of the things around football off the field, and then Jason Allen is a volunteer. He works and he gets here about 2 o'clock every day, and he's a very talented coach, and not what you expect or what you get out of a lot of volunteers.
Fantastic. So.
And I probably missed one somewhere along the way, and they're going to let me know it.
We'll make them up as we go along. We'll make it up.
And Payne Fritz is our one new coach. There we go. Payne came here. He's going to be our wrestling coach, and then working with our defensive line. So we're glad to have him and just kind of getting to know him now.
Good. So you mentioned August 22nd. That's coming up a week from this Friday.
Yes.
Be your first game. You travel to Brewer
High School.
And what do you expect to see from the Patriots?
Well, and I'm just now, a lot of these teams are new that I haven't seen in a long time. Brewer was actually in our region when I was at Huffman High School, but that was 1995, so I'm sure some guys have graduated
been a minute,
since then, or 1998. I'm sure there'll be a well-coached team, and they'll be very similar to us, I believe, kids that have grown up in that community and will know how to play hard and be probably very similar athletically, and then coaching staff's probably much the same too. So it should be a good matchup and a good way to start the season.
Okay, good. So this may not be a fair question at this early a juncture, but if you were to look out across the season and who you're playing, what's a fair assessment or prediction of what the season's going to look like?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what's fair. And that's certainly not a fair question.
Sorry.
But I do think it depends on how we start. This is a group of young men, especially for a senior class. They've been through quite a few coaches here just in there. Coach Register was here a long time, and that's all they knew. And then there was a kind of a quick turnaround on them. So we're working real hard to get to know each other, so I think it's going to depend on how that class responds and how they lead the others, and if we can start off in that way. And I think it's important. Those first games are always ugly. There's a lot of ugly stuff in those games, but if you can find a way to gut that game out and win it, and you can build some confidence, and I think our way of winning is a group of young men playing hard together and playing hard longer than others, and if we can do that, then that's going to be proof to them that it works. And that's what I'm hoping for that night, that we just find a way to win that game.
Good.
And I think we can roll on from there, and then who knows what happens after that.
Never know.
Yes. And I'd like to see us in the playoffs that first week for sure.
Absolutely. That'd be fantastic. Well, Coach, our first show is in the books. We're done.
All right.
We appreciate your time, and we certainly look forward to seeing what the Wildcats will do this season. And a quick program note, in the past, we've done these shows every week. That'll be a little different format this year. It'll be every other week. So be sure to look for us in a couple of weeks after the first game, and we'll be reporting throughout the season on how the Hayden Wildcats are doing. And we appreciate your time. Thanks for watching.